Welcome to Cartesi.
There's one project that has its eyes laser focused on interoperability, making smart contracts more powerful with additional computer resources for developers. Find out the big things that one of our partners has been up to since the last time we checked in. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto channel in all the interwebs. My name is Ben, and every day on this channel I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money and crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and turn on the bell for notifications while you're at it. In today's video, we're going to be checking up on Cartesi, a project that has absolutely exploded. Now, we previously discussed Cartesi's machine and the product that Cartesi has called Descartes, which is now being integrated into its rollups as covered in our last video. Since Cartesi was given some attention on this channel, the team has announced new partnerships and began integrating key goals on its roadmap, which we will take a look at towards the end of this video, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned until the end. Now, a brief recap about what Cartesi's Descartes is for new viewers. Think of Descartes as an oracle for heavy computations. It makes intensive computations verifiable on the blockchain. Why does this matter? Well, today, several projects compromise their level of decentralization because computation on blockchains are too limited. They end up using centralized setups to do the heavy lifting for companies such as Amazon AWS for server infrastructure. So what does Cartesi's computational oracle do differently? It roves the element of trust on companies or specific hardware setups. For all of those non-nerds out there like me, my research team says the technology is very important and a missing puzzle piece that all blockchains can utilize. This technology is needed to create marketplaces for AI, or to calculate risk for decentralized insurance and options, or on esports to verify the winner of a game match. None of this can be done on-chain. So what are people building with Cartesi's Descartes? Well, Creole is using verifiable computation of IoT or Internet of Things, solving part of the most complex problem of IoT use cases, which includes generating verifiable results from multiple IoT hardware devices. SimThunder is creating an NFT marketplace with Cartesi with special functionalities, including privacy functions, which could be ported to other NFT solutions. Another project, Carti, which is a decentralized package manager, is helping with the overall usability of Cartesi. These products and more are now building on Cartesi's SDK and going through a Gitcoin quadratic funding, while very briefly mentioning Descartes in their documentation. Now, besides Descartes, rollups are the next step in the development. So what have our partners at Cartesi been up to lately? Cartesi is working to integrate with the most important blockchains in the space to support the development of smart contracts using Linux and mainstream software stacks to build powerful dApps. What are software stacks, you may be asking? Well, I'd love to tell you. Software stacks are a collection of independent components that work together to support the overall execution of an application. The components can include an operating system, architectural layers, protocols, a runtime environment such as Java, as well as databases and function calls. These are all stacked on top of one another in a hierarchy. If you need a translation of that, think of it as a nerd sandwich, with each layer providing flavor for the overall application. It's like forgetting the mustard, cheese, or ham without each integral part of the sandwich just won't work, especially the mayonnaise. Now, sure, you can have a ham or cheese sandwich alone without the other, but it's just not the same. But back to the partnerships of Cartesi before I get hungry. You guys know I do get hungry a lot. Cartesi has recently announced partnerships with Elrond, the world's prevailing operating system, to the internet scale blockchain, and Avalanche, which is bringing mainstream programmability to the Internet of Finance. While the Cartesi team has previously announced support for both the Binance Smart Chain and Polygon, formerly Matic, which means that Cartesi has most of the major chains covered other than Polkadot and Cardano. Rumors have it that Cartesi is about to partner with IMPA, or the Instituto Nacional de Matemática Pura y Aplicada. No one thought I could say that. IMPA is the foremost leading research institute on mathematics in Brazil, and an institution that is renowned worldwide, including having a Fields Medal winner, the Nobel Prize of Mathematics. course, this is to create a Cartesi lab focused on PhD students who will study Cartesi and its applications, bringing mainstream research institutions, students, and developers to Cartesi. It's a funnel. Think about that. Cartesi's roadmap is one of the most exciting things going on in crypto right now due to what they're trying to accomplish. Cartesi is currently working on upgrading their system to support optimistic rollups with interactive dispute resolution. Once integrated, this implementation will directly help the dreaded smart contract scalability issue. This is made evident when you realize that Cartesi will allow developers to run off-chain heavy computation that would be impossible to run on-chain. This in turn will allow unbelievable computational scaling without loss to the strong security guarantees provided by the Ethereum network. But there's far more here, and this is where the project will shine. Cartesi rollup smart contracts will run off-chain on Cartesi machines. Since these virtual machines will support Linux, developers will have the option to trash Solidity and the limitations of the EVM to create smart contracts with a myriad of mainstream software stacks, toolchains, standard libraries, file systems, and other operating system resources. It's important to note that running smart contracts on a Linux runtime has never before been possible until Cartesi. For the first time, developers will have an entire operating system that they can utilize for their smart contracts. This can't be said enough. Cartesi is going to shape the way that smart contracts work for the future going forward on all chains. Since covering Cartesi at around 10 cents, since blasted off to 24 cents at the time of this recording, having slight consolidation that's a 2x thus far. And I'll be honest, even though I am involved with Cartesi and a partner, so some might say this is a sponsored video, I believe that Cartesi will be huge in the future or I would not be working with them. The fact is, we get hundreds of requests a day to cover projects. We turn down over 95%. If we didn't think Cartesi was something big, we wouldn't be involved with them. Mark my words, Cartesi will be a monster the rest of this year and utilized by dozens upon dozens of applications, be a key player in the smart contracts blockchain ecosystem for a long time to come. This one is just getting started. If you're interested, you can check out a bag of Cartesi on Binance, Bilaxy, Uniswap, Gate.io, and one of our favorite altcoin exchanges, KuCoin. If you want to sign up for KuCoin or Binance, you can visit bitboycrypto.com/deals to get started. But what do you think? Where do you see Cartesi going? Let me know down below in the comments. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.